that's shaking the very foundations of Formula One. And trust me, this isn't just some corporate fluff. Nope, this is the real deal. A move so ballsy it might flip the entire grid upside down and redefine their future. Forget business as usual. The 2025 season is already shaping up to be Aston Martin's most audacious and transformative year yet. When the big players make bold moves, the world takes notice. And let me tell you, this isn't a simple change of management. It's a bloody revolution. So stick around, because we're diving headfirst into what this means for Fernando Alonso, Adrian Newey, and yes, even Lance Stroll. Oh, and before we start, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. You won't want to miss a second of this juicy saga. Mike Crack bows out, but the story's just beginning. Let's kick this off with Mike Crack. After steering the Aston Martin ship for 3 seasons, the guy's stepping down. And sure, under his leadership, the team climbed the constructors' standings from a mediocre 7th in 2022 to a solid 5th in 2023 and 2024. Not bad, right? But Aston Martin isn't here to chill in midfield. They're gunning for championships. Enter stage left, Andy Cowell, a bloke who doesn't just play the game. He rewrites the damn rules. Andy Cowell, the wizard with the golden touch. If you don't know who Andy Cowell is, let me school you real quick. This guy isn't just an engineer. He's a bloody legend in the F1 world. As the brain behind Mercedes' turbo-hybrid engines, Cowell was instrumental in their unprecedented run of 8 consecutive Constructors' Championships. Yeah, you read that right, 8. Now he's bringing that wizardry to Aston Martin, and things are about to get spicy. Cowell initially joined the team in 2024 in a strategic role, but by October, he was already CEO of the group. Now, he's stepping up as team principal, combining his engineering brilliance with a bold vision for the future. And here's the kicker. Cowell isn't coming to this party alone. Adrian Newey, the genius, joins the fray. Hold on to your hats, because Aston Martin has pulled off the signing of the century. Adrian freaking Newey. This guy's cars have won over 180 Grand Prix races and 12 Constructors' Championships with teams like Williams, McLaren, and Red Bull. Ever heard of the RB19? Yeah, that unstoppable beast was his brainchild. Now, he's joined Aston Martin as technical partner manager. And let me tell you, this partnership with Cowell is like assembling the Avengers of F1 engineering. Together, these two could rewrite the sports rulebook, building a fortress in Silverstone. But wait, there's more. Aston Martin isn't just upgrading its personnel. They're building a freaking fortress in Silverstone. We're talking a brand new wind tunnel, a state-of-the-art simulator, and cutting-edge design facilities. Lawrence Stroll, the man with the deep pockets, isn't messing around. His vision? To see Aston Martin consistently go head-to-head with Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Not just once in a blue moon, but every damn season. 2024. A slap of reality. Now, let's not sugarcoat things. 2024 was rough. After a stellar 2023 where Alonso snagged multiple podiums and flirted with race wins, the AMR24 turned out to be a bit of a dud. It struggled to keep up with the big boys, leaving Alonso to carry the team on his 43-year-old shoulders, scoring 70 out of their 94 points. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll, Lance, managed just 24 points and faced criticism for his inconsistency. It was a frustrating year, but also a wake-up call for what needed fixing. The AMR25, a machine in the making. Now, here's where things get juicy. The AMR25, currently under the meticulous watch of Adrian Newey and another Ferrari defector, Enrico Balbo, promises to address every aerodynamic and mechanical flaw of its predecessor. Early whispers suggest this car could be a game-changer. And with Honda set to join Aston Martin as their works engine partner in 2026, this season is all about laying the groundwork for future domination. Fernando Alonso, the comeback king? Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Fernando Alonso. At 43, this guy's still got more fire in him than most rookies. If the AMR25 lives up to the hype, Alonso could be back in the fight for race wins, maybe even that elusive third world championship. Picture it, one of the sharpest minds behind the wheel, paired with two engineering geniuses behind the scenes. The thought alone is enough to give you goosebumps. Lance Stroll, the wild card. And then there's Lance Stroll, Aston Martin's eternal question mark. Will he rise to the occasion, or will he continue to be the team's Achilles heel? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. 2025 is make or break for him. So there you have it, a team on the brink of transformation, a car that could shock the world, and a lineup of legends ready to take on the grid. Buckle up, folks, because Aston Martin is gearing up to give Formula One the shake-up it desperately needs. Lance Stroll has shown flashes of brilliance over the years. Moments where you think, all right, this guy's got something. But let's not sugarcoat it. Consistency has never been his strong suit. With Aston Martin now rolling out a more competitive car and the pressure cranked up to 11, 2025 is shaping up to be the year where Stroll either puts up or shuts up. Is he ready to rise to the occasion? Or will the spotlight shining on Aston Martin expose every crack in his game? Time's ticking, and let's face it, the kid's got a lot to prove. But let's zoom out for a second, shall we? This whole Aston Martin transformation isn't just about winning a few races. It's about flipping the entire Formula One script on its head. From their jaw-dropping state-of-the-art facilities to a leadership team packed with some of the sharpest minds in the business, Aston Martin is sending a crystal-clear message to the rest of the grid. We're here to kick ass and take names. And don't even get me started on their partnerships. With Honda and Aramco lined up for 2026, they're laying down the groundwork to become a fully integrated works team with one singular goal: championship domination. But here's the million-dollar question. Can they actually pull it off? Think about it. You've got Andy Cowell, the mastermind who practically redefined what an F1 engine could do. You've got Adrian Newey, the mad genius behind some of the most iconic cars in F1 history. And let's not forget Fernando Alonso, a driver who, at 43, still races like he's got something to prove to the world. This trio is the stuff of F1 wet dreams. But is it enough? Can Aston Martin's brains and Alonso's brawn bulldoze their way to the front of the pack, or is the competition just too damn fierce? Look, one thing's for sure. 2025 is shaping up to be an absolute banger of a season. Probably the most unpredictable and exciting one in years. There are so many unanswered questions. Will Aston Martin's big, bold moves pay off? Can Andy Cowell and Adrian Newey's combined brilliance turn this team into genuine title contenders? And, most importantly, can Alonso finally get the car he's been begging the F1 gods for? He's already proven that age is just a number, but will the AMR25 finally be the machine that lets him fight at the front, or will it be another year of dragging a subpar car into relevance? And then there's Lance Stroll. Oh, Lance. With all the upgrades, the new hires, and the hype, 2025 is his shot at shutting up the haters once and for all. But let's be real. This is also the year where we might see just how wide the gap is between Stroll and the sport's elite drivers. Will he thrive under the pressure of Aston Martin's sky-high ambitions, or will his seats start looking mighty attractive to some hungry young talent? Because let's face it, Aston Martin isn't playing the long game for mediocrity anymore. If Stroll doesn't deliver, there's a good chance Daddy's wallet won't be enough to save him this time. So, here's the deal. Aston Martin is swinging for the fences, and they've got the talent, the resources, and the vision to make it happen. But whether or not they can actually pull it off is the question that's going to keep us all on the edge of our seats. What do you think? Are Aston Martin's bold moves going to shake up the grid in 2025, or are they biting off more than they can chew? Will Fernando Alonso finally get his hands on a championship-worthy car, or will he be left to wonder what might have been? And is Lance Stroll ready to step up, or is his time in F1 on borrowed time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe for more, because this story is just getting started. Buckle up, it's going to be one hell of a ride. One thing's crystal fucking clear. Aston Martin isn't just playing dress-up in the midfield anymore. Nope, those days are long gone. They've planted their flag at the top of the hill and are screaming, "We're coming for the big guns." Forget about occasional podiums or pat-on-the-back results. This team is dead serious about challenging for championships. The 2025 season? It's shaping up to be the defining chapter in their history. But let's be real. This isn't just about Aston Martin. This is about the future of Formula One itself. From underdogs to top dogs, Aston Martin has been the plucky underdog for years, the team you cheer for when things get boring up front. But here's the kicker. They're not settling for good enough anymore. With their Silverstone headquarters now looking like the F1 equivalent of Tony Stark's lab, they've made one thing abundantly clear. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're not here to make up the numbers. They're here to punch Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari squarely in their smug, dominant faces. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't going to be a walk in the park. Those top teams didn't spend the last decade dominating just to roll over and let Aston Martin take their toys. So the question is, can this scrappy team, long seen as an also-ran, really crash the elite party? Or are they biting off more than they can chew? The Lawrence Stroll effect. You can say a lot about Lawrence Stroll. Hell, the guy's a billionaire, and that comes with its share of haters. But one thing you can't deny is his ambition. His vision isn't just bold, it's downright audacious. He's like the rich uncle who buys the shittiest team in your fantasy football league and then decides he's going to turn them into champions. And guess what? History shows that bold moves often lead to legendary results. But here's the catch. This isn't just about writing checks and building shiny new wind tunnels. This is about execution, about proving they've got the brains and balls to match their wallet. Andy Cowell and Adrian Newey, the dream team. When you hear names like Andy Cowell and Adrian Newey, you know shit's about to get serious. Cowell is the genius who turned Mercedes engines into untouchable monsters, and Newey? The man's a goddamn legend. A walking F1 Hall of Fame whose cars have dominated the sport for decades. Together, they're like assembling Batman and Iron Man for the same mission. If anyone can turn Aston Martin into a title contender, it's these two. And don't forget their shiny new toys, state-of-the-art facilities, cutting-edge tech, and a 2026 partnership with Honda that could redefine the engine game. These aren't just small upgrades. They're building a freaking empire. But here's the real question. Can they put all these pieces together and make it work? Because F1 isn't just about having the best car or the smartest engineers. It's about nailing every damn detail, every damn weekend. Alonso's last dance? And let's talk about Fernando Alonso, the ageless wonder. At 43, the man is still driving like he's got a bone to pick with the universe. If the AMR 25 is as good as they're hyping it up to be, Alonso might just find himself fighting for wins again. Hell, he might even snag that elusive third championship. Imagine that, Alonso, Newey, and Cowell pulling off the ultimate comeback story. It's the stuff of F1 fanfiction. But this time, it could be real. Lance Stroll, the wild card. And then there's Lance Stroll, the elephant in the room. Look, the guy's got talent. We've seen it in flashes. But consistency? That's a whole different ballgame. With Aston Martin aiming for the top, Stroll's got to prove he belongs in this elite lineup. If he doesn't step up, let's just say there are plenty of hungry young drivers who'd love to take his seat. A new era for F1? But this isn't just about Aston Martin's rise. If they pull this off, it could change the entire F1 landscape. For years, we've seen Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari trading punches at the top while everyone else fights for scraps. But what if Aston Martin breaks that cycle? What if they bring some much-needed chaos and unpredictability to the grid? The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for Aston Martin, but for the sport as a whole. Your predictions? So, what do you think? Is Aston Martin about to pull off one of the greatest glow-ups in F1 history, or are they destined to be a cautionary tale about ambition outpacing reality? Will Alonso finally get his hands on that third title, or will it remain the dream that keeps him up at night? And can Lance Stroll silence his critics, or will 2025 be the year the pressure finally gets to him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. We'll be with you every step of the way, from pre-season testing to the final race of the year, bringing you all the twists, turns, and triumphs. Trust us, you won't want to miss a second of this wild ride. The